Hey everybody, have another unboxing today. This is the Realme 2 Pro. So Realme, it's a sub-brand of Oppo, so this is Oppo's like 5th or 6th device released this year. So stay real with us at Realme Mobiles. That's all the social media channels, I guess. So you have a charging brick and a USB, wait. No, not a USB-C, a micro USB cable. Boo. I don't know why Oppo and Vivo are still releasing phones with a micro USB cable instead of USB-C. A little bit disappointing. So it comes with a rubber gel case, and that is it. So no earphones. There is a headphone jack though. Nice, so you can clearly see the Oppo influence. It has that kind of water drop notch. The earpiece is kind of hidden up top. Glass back, this is like a baby blue color, North Carolina blue. Okay, I'm gonna set everything up and then I will be back. Alright guys, so I've been using the Realme 2 Pro for over a week now. Realme, aka Oppo, they were nice enough to give me this phone more than a week before the embargo lifted. So by the time you're watching this video, I had already been using it for more than a week. Like that unboxing clip you just shot was like from a week ago. So first things first, this phone, obviously the selling point is the design. For a mid-tier device, this is really stunning. You have a 6.3 inch LCD display with a small notch that Oppo introduced like a couple months ago with the R15, I believe. There's a little bit of a chin, but it's not big. It's smaller than on the Huawei P20 Pro, and overall it's a really, you know, stunning screen to body ratio of over 90%. In fact, you put it next to my iPhone XS Plus and you see how much smaller the notch on the Realme 2 Pro is compared to the iPhone X. Now obviously it's not fair because iPhone X has a real facial scanning system, so not a fair comparison, but just aesthetically speaking, this notch being this small looks really, just makes everything looks good. I mean, and I like that the Instagram story actually feels edge to edge compared to, look at Instagram story on the iPhone XS Max. It cuts off at the top and at the bottom. It letter boxes the whole display really. So you get, to me, a lot less immersive experience. Now I know why Apple did this, because this is the full video. When you watch videos on Android devices that are notch, they tend to cut off the left and right sides. But you know what? I'll lose a little bit of left and right to get a more immersive feeling. Because Instagram story, especially if you're watching a good one anyway, like this one right here is pretty nice. Let me find it. Yeah. So we'll go there. Like you look at the two phones, it just looks a lot better on the Realme 2 Pro than on the iPhone XS Plus, in my opinion anyway. So let's talk about the specs really quick. Snapdragon 660. This review unit has 6 gigs of RAM inside, but it comes up to 8 gigs of RAM, and there's 128 gigs of internal storage. So Snapdragon 660, it's a mid-tier chipset that is more than powerful enough for most people, especially for its price range, but obviously you can't compare to an A45 or, you know, Apple's new A12. So I ran two benchmarks. You see 1453 single core, 5421 multi-core. And I also ran it through PC Bench, which I will have to grab a screenshot right here. Scored a 7894 on the Work 2.0 performance on PC Mark. That's very, very impressive. So, like close to 8,000. That's like almost as powerful as what the Huawei Mate 10 Pro scored. And the Huawei Mate 10 Pro is still a pretty powerful phone, even though we're just about 10 days away from getting the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. So on the back of the phone, you have this kind of reflective glass back. It feels pretty nice. It definitely feels a lot nicer than the Poco phone's plastic back. And you have right here the Realme logo, and the fingerprint reader is fast and furious. Works every time. There's also face unlock, obviously, and that is scary fast too. Turn on the screen, tilt it to my face, unlocks immediately. So in terms of camera hardware, the Realme 2 Pro has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, and on the back's main lens is also 16 megapixel with an f1.7 aperture, so that's really good. And they're all Sony IMX sensors. There's a secondary 6 megapixel depth sensor that also provides a little bit of a 2x lossless zoom. It looks pretty good. It doesn't work as well as Meizu 16X, which gets up to 3 times zoom, but this is good enough. The camera app, very similar to all the previous Oppo camera apps I tested. I made a video on this a couple months ago actually, so if you're interested in checking that out, you should go, I'll have a link in the description. So that camera app, it's very swipe heavy. You swipe from right to left to cycle through all the modes. You have Expert, which is Pro, Panorama, stickers. This puts like an AR sticker on the subject's face. Portrait mode, which works surprisingly well. And then you have these kind of, these are obviously inspired by the iPhone X's stage lighting, and unfortunately they don't work too well. But the main camera mode is good. Shutter speed is really fast. You have an easy zoom right here. The selfie button is really easy to switch to, just like that. The photos come out pretty nice too. I'll have samples later. Video recording right here, same thing. I like that you get a full screen view. You can shoot in either 1080p or up to 4K. But when you shoot in 4K, no stabilization whatsoever. When you shoot in 1080p, you get EIS at least, which it's pretty decent, not the best. And then you have time lapse right here. So let's look at some photo samples. In general, the Realme 2 Pro shoots really amazing photos for this price range. Like you look at this shot, it's very dynamic. You get great details when you zoom in. So let's zoom in really closely into this Shiku Center. This is a train station that goes from Hong Kong to China, southern China, in like 20 minutes or something. It's crazy. I haven't tried it yet. So you get really good details. It's a really good balanced image, accurate colors. Okay, so let me find an image that's a little bit more challenging. So right here, this is a nighttime image. This is really solid for this price range. This is a pretty low light situation in Hong Kong at night. So when you zoom in, you do see a little bit of noise, but not too bad. You see right here, this is a little bit blown out, but it is what it is. Compare this to the same shot taken with the iPhone XS Max. So remember, this phone right here on me, it's like $1,200 US. So obviously you get more details, you get more lighting, you see the difference in lighting. But in terms of balance, the Realme 2 Pro might actually come out a little bit more balanced. This obviously pulled in more lighting than the actual scene. Like this is a lot more accurate. So we'll check out a couple more photos. Shutter speed is really fast. This dog was moving his head really fast all the time. It still caught him with only a little bit of a blur. Not too bad. These dogs are so cute. Doesn't this dog over here look like the villain in Doctor Strange? See, so shutter speed is good. Again, this guy was walking pretty fast, and then there's not much blur. If I shoot this with a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, which has a slower shutter speed, this guy probably would have been blurred. Oh yeah, so this is the AR sticker that I mentioned earlier that I put on my girlfriend's face. This is a filter, black and white. So you see, this is a stunning shot. The sky right here, the clouds look a little bit artificial, but overall, it was a really overcast day. The sun was in my face, so this is really well balanced considering the situation. So this is a selfie mode. I'm not a fan of the selfie mode as usual with these Chinese phones like Oppo, Vivo, Realme, whatever, Xiaomi, Poco phone, whatever you want to call it. It comes off a little bit fake. Like my skin obviously does not look this nice. I have really bad skin in real life, and this looks kind of fake. It looks like it's modified. Like this is not how I look in real life. It just doesn't look natural. So we'll look at the bokeh mode. It actually looks pretty good because thanks to this depth sensor right here. The edge detection is completely on point. Although I think the blurring effect on the back is a little bit strong. Like right here, I kind of look like I've been copy and pasted into the shot. But it looks good. The edge detection is on point. It even got around my crazy hair on the back. So in terms of low light situation, this was shot in my dark living room. I think this looks pretty good compared to sample images shot with the Vivo V11. I think it holds up pretty well. So we'll look at one more shot. This is a difficult shot to shoot actually because the sky was so bright at the time. So if I use an inferior camera, the sky would have been blown out. Either that or this part would have been completely dark and I couldn't see anything. But this shot came out really well balanced. This is an excellent image that can compare to the best phones out there. So only in low light situation will you see the slightly inferiority of the Realme 2 Pro's camera. We'll check out a video sample. We'll find one where I actually walk to see how the EIS work in daytime. See, so I'm walking right now. This is pretty smooth. The EIS is working. Usually when I review the cheaper phones, you know, from like Liegu or Doogie, whenever I walk, it becomes super jerky. So this is EIS actually working. But it only works up to 1080p. When you shoot in 4K, then the EIS gets thrown out the window. This is another bokeh shot I thought turned out very nice, very artistic. So as you can see, I've been swiping around the phone. That's because Vivo's software. This is, I believe, ColorOS. ColorOS version 5.2 is Vivo's Android skin over Android 8.1. I don't hate it. I'm okay with it. I really like how colorful it is. The icons look good. I like it better than Vivo's FunTouch software actually, and probably better than Huawei's EMUI 2. The app icons look pretty nice. Now, when you swipe down from the middle, you do get this kind of iOS rip-off search bar. I'm not a fan of. I'd rather just get the notification shade, but it's fine. The notification shade is clean. You get all the shortcut toggles right here instead of like a Vivo phone where you get to swipe from the bottom, which is really weird. So new to the Realme 2 Pro software is this little bar right here. You see that when you swipe, you bring up this little shortcut toggles. This is obviously inspired by Samsung's Edge panel, which you swipe from the edge. It makes more sense on the Samsung phone because the screen is actually curved. This is a completely flat panel, but it's still nice to have a little shortcut, although I think the shortcut's a little bit redundant. Like for example, Facebook, Instagram. I only have Facebook, Instagram on my homepage. I guess the theory is you can put more obscure apps like maybe calendar or calculator right here. So ColorOS software is mostly okay. You're able to expand notifications. A lot of Chinese softwares don't let you do that. But unfortunately, it takes 2 swipes to get rid of notifications. So you see, after swipe, it doesn't go away. I have to tap on the little trash icon to get rid of it. On most other Android phones, 1 swipe will get it away. So it's slightly annoying. It takes an extra step. So in terms of battery life, the Realme 2 Pro has a 3,500 mAh battery inside. And you know, OPPO's software has always been really good at optimizing battery. So battery life has been excellent. I've been getting over 4 or 5 hours of screen on time. This is an estimate because OPPO doesn't let you check that. And the phone's definitely able to last me all day. So I'm able to know my screen on time because I've been using the phone side by side with the iPhone XS Max. This phone supposedly has great battery life, but the Realme 2 Pro has been outlasting the iPhone every single time. I bring both phones out, I use both phones, and then this phone would die on me like near the end of the day, like around 9-10 p.m. and this phone would still have like 25-30% battery life. Battery life is even better than the Galaxy Note 9. The phone does come with a lot of bloatware out of the box. You get a lot of these apps, like this is what, like Vietnamese news right here, Vieng Nay News, Zing MP3. The good news is you can delete all of these, but there are a lot. Like out of the box, there was maybe like 10 of these, and then you have like Lazada, which is I believe a Singapore store that sells electronics. So these are all partnerships that Realme has partnered up with Southeast Asian businesses to, you know, subsidize the fact that this is a mid-tier phone that sells at a pretty decent price. Okay, time for the usual hands-on video. I'm gonna have a second video comparing the Realme 2 Pro with the Vivo V11. That should be coming out in a week because I have to focus on reviewing a couple other products right now. So pricing of this phone, I only have the price in Indian rupees. So this phone starts at 11,990 Indian rupees and it goes up to 17,990 rupees. I did the conversion to US dollars. That means the cheapest variant starts at about 180 US dollars, and the highest variant, that's with 8 gigs of RAM, goes up to about $250. So that's pretty good deal. $250. That's $50 cheaper than the Poco phone. Now, the Poco phone has a Snapdragon 845. It's a much more powerful processor, but this phone has a better build and a pretty and just like nicer screen, nicer look from the front. Now, there's also a Meizu 16X, which is about $100 US dollars more than this phone, but that phone has an OLED panel and a newer processor, Snapdragon 710. So you have three really good phones here: the Poco phone, this, and the Meizu 16X. I think the Poco phone is still the absolute best value because Snapdragon 845. But if you care a little bit more about build quality and style, then the Meizu 16X or the Realme 2 Pro might be worth considering. Anyway, I'll be back with more videos this week. I have a busy week ahead. I'm reviewing the Apple Watch, the iPhone 10, 10X, and also reviewing the LG V40 soonish. Thanks for watching.